What is up, guys? Today we have a review for you of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So, Rogue One, a Star Wars story is directed by Gareth Edwards. It stars Felicity Jones, Diego Luna, and a great cast of characters. And it's the newest movie to enter the Star Wars universe. Daniel, why don't you start us off? What are your basic generic thoughts on Rogue One?
Well, like I said in the non-spoiler review, that I really liked it. And I saw it again the day after. So I saw it Thursday, and then I saw it again on Friday. And I think seeing it twice made me like the movie more than when I originally talked about it in the non-spoiler review. There's a lot of scenes that I really, really, really liked, and then some scenes that just were too bland for me. But the scenes that I really liked made up for the bland scenes.
Okay. I feel a little bit more strongly than you do. I absolutely loved the movie. It gave me chills. It was an emotional roller coaster from beginning to end. Probably because I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'm not super fanboy fanatic. Like, I don't know much about the extended universe or the comics. But I do love the movies. I love the video games. I love the board games. Right here, I'm collecting all the Star Wars board games. And this movie it was the perfect fit for the next Star Wars movie. This is, by the way, a spoiler review, so we're going to start getting a little bit into spoilers right now. Why don't you get us started? What were the things you loved about it?
I guess, to skip the entire movie and just go straight to the end, that Vader scene.
Oh, the Vader scene.
At the very end when he tries to get the plans from the soldiers or from the rebels. And he's just in there killing people with the Force, especially when he pushes someone up into the ceiling and he just walks by and like
cuts him in half.
Yeah. Even though that scene was very sad because you see like the rebels knowing they're about to die, but it was so awesome to see Vader actually moving the lightsaber more. Yeah. Because originally it was like very stiff choreography.
It was.
But this time you actually got to see him like swing, and it was awesome. I thought that was my most favorite scene of the entire movie, even though it was way at the end.
I love the inclusion of Vader.
I do too.
They made him more of a badass in this one, and he was really menacing in other scenes he was in.
James Earl Jones returning
as the Darth himself.
Yeah, when he goes back to see the director and he starts to choke him.
Yeah,
that was awesome. He made that little pun: "Don't choke on your whatever."
On your aspirations.
Yeah, it was awesome. All the Vader scenes were pretty cool. Of the 2 or 3 of them that happened.
Yeah, another thing that was awesome, I absolutely loved about the movie, besides all the Vader scenes, was just the awesome action. This movie was a war movie. It had a little bit of like a spy movie when they're trying to sneak in and they're using like stealthy. It's like a stealthy mission in order to bust into the fort or the fortress where the data is, the plans that they need to steal.
The entire time that they were on that planet and fighting in space while they were trying to steal the plans on the surface. Yeah. That entire space battle was awesome. And it reminded me so much of the original series because the pilots looked the same. Even the point of view of the camera from it looked so much like the original.
It was such an awesome throwback.
Yeah, it was. And then everyone was just dressed the same. Like the rebels. Yeah. They were dressed exactly like they are in the 70s. And it was really remnant of the original series, and I really liked that a lot.
And I really liked from this movie, I liked the Rogue One team. Yeah. Because at first the rebels, they don't want to risk sending all their troops to go steal the plans. They didn't want to risk escalating the war any more than it already was. So these rebels rebelled from the rebellion.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
And they went off on their own to, infiltrate the base and steal the plans themselves. That little small group consisted of, not Forrest Whitaker, he's in it, but Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen was awesome. The blind guy with the staff.
He was really cool.
Yeah, he was freaking awesome. He had an awesome martial arts fighting scene. There was this guy with a big old machine gun that was just mowing people down. The pilot was pretty awesome, using his his Imperial knowledge in order to sneak them into the base.
K2.
Yeah. Oh,
the sass
on that robot.
Oh my goodness! I didn't know droids could be so sassy.
I know, the robot with attitude. He needs to be recruited by the Power Rangers.
Recruit a team of teenagers with attitudes.
Because they need some more attitude.
I loved Jin. She was awesome.
Jin was a great character as well.
She was. Star Wars continuously has strong female characters.
Yeah.
Princess Leia, and then you have Rey, and now you have Jin.
And now you have, not a lot, but Mon Mothma made a return in this one as, one of the leaders of the rebellion.
Yeah.
She was pretty cool in her scenes. She didn't get that much screen time, but she was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But all around, and the villain this time around was Director Carrick?
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name.
I think that's
he was an awesome villain too.
He was.
And not only was he a villain, but you also felt bad for him because he worked so hard to create the Death Star, and in comes the CGI Grand Moff Tarkin.
I didn't feel bad for him at all.
I felt a little bad because he worked for years and years and years to get this Death Star made, and then in comes the Grand Moff, and it's like, well, I'm in charge now.
Yeah, but if the Death Star was actually being used to help people, fine or whatever, I'd feel bad. But I'm not gonna give him credit for trying to build a machine to destroy planets.
That's true, but they didn't. They tried to make him a little sympathetic of a character, and I felt for him a little bit, but he still needed to die.
Yeah, no.
How do you feel about the characters dying?
It's understandable because they can't have that plot hole that they're still alive. Where are they in A New Hope in the original Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
But it's just like, I feel that I didn't get enough time with these characters, and then for them to just die was a little it's nitpicking for me, but it's something I didn't like, but it's understandable why they had to do it.
I feel that the characters were well developed. I feel like we got just enough of their backstory and their friendships and just enough of who they are as a character in order for us to care about them. And I felt sad when Donnie Yen died and his friend came and died with him. And I felt sad when K2 died.
Oh, K2.
And I felt sad when Jin and, I forget, Cassius, Diego Luna's character, when they're hugging at the end and they're about to die. I felt for these characters. Even though I knew they were going to die, but they developed them in a way that I cared about them as they were being picked off one by one.
Well, that's why I said nitpicking, because they did have some character development, and I liked it, and I actually liked these characters, and that's why I wanted more. But it can't have more, because the next technical sequel is already set in stone.
Yeah. There's not much that I didn't like about the movie. Is there something you didn't like?
Yeah, the beginning of the movie where they show her as a little girl, Jane and her parents, and, obviously her mom gets shot, whatever. But there's a scene, right after that where they just keep switching to different planets.
I actually really like that.
I didn't like that only because I kind of had to pick up too quickly about what's happening here, and then something's happening over here, and then something's happening over here.
I mean, I've played enough Star Wars video games and enough Star Wars board games to know that there's a huge galaxy of so many different planets.
Well, yeah,
and you don't get to see them in the movies.
Yeah.
So the fact that we were bouncing around from planet to planet and Yavin 4, I recognize this, and there's Mustafar, that's where Vader lives, and there's this planet right here. It's it was cool. I really liked it.
And I didn't, but differences, I guess.
There's one thing, two minor things that I could have done without. Number one was the psychic octopus. And I was like, it just felt a little out of place, but it wasn't a huge deal breaker. That is the most nitpicky of
It doesn't happen that
me.
long in the movie. It happens for 10 seconds.
It's literally 5-10 seconds.
Forrest Whitaker's character.
That's another thing. Let me give you guys a little backstory real quick. I have this game called Star Wars Imperial Assault, and in this game, one person plays the Empire and controls the whole army, and up to 4 other characters control their own rebel heroes. My cousin Andy, the previous co-host of the show, he picked the character called Gideon Argus, this big black guy, commander, big white beard, and Andy decided to give him a voice. He acted out the part throughout the entire campaign of the game. And he talked like this the whole time.
Exactly.
Let's shoot some Imperials. So when we go into the movie and we see Forrest
Saw.
Whitaker's character, Saw Gerrera, walk up to Jin and go, lies! Deception! Save the rebellion! Save the dream! Oh, is that you, Jin?
It was identical.
It was identical.
It's like they were listening into our game.
We started laughing
and they
so
recorded
hard.
Andy. It was exactly the same.
So we couldn't take him seriously.
At all.
Plus, he way overacted the part.
And they even like said that he was like a barbaric rebel now, that he's seceded from
Some
the actual...
extremist or
Yeah,
something.
and no, I couldn't take him serious at all. At all.
And that to me is also nitpick.
I don't think
just
I don't
because
think
I'm
it's Forrest
laughing at
Whitaker's
him.
fault though. I'm
Yeah.
not blaming him. I'm blaming the writing of his character. Because it was not intimidating at all.
So that's just super nitpicky for me. But other than that, this movie was almost perfect. I loved every minute of it. It made me feel chills at the end. All the throwbacks to the original Star Wars. I was like, oh my god. And the thing that made this movie amazing to me was it fixed all the problems that I had with A New Hope. And I think that most people had with A New Hope. A lot of people, they complained about how would they build this huge giant Death Star and not notice that there's a hole that leads right to the reactor that will explode the whole thing. What a huge oversight on the people who constructed the Death Star.
Well, yeah,
and this movie retcons it.
Yeah.
This movie fixes that. It was intentional. It was Galen Erso's, the guy who designed the
His
Death Star.
trap,
It was
as
his
you said.
plan.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
See what you did there.
It was intentional. He designed it that way to give the rebels an advantage because he was secretly part of the rebellion as well. And to me, that just solidified this movie as awesome. It amplified the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And
I get that.
And that's, to me, is awesome.
I get that.
So if you had to rate it, you know what? I'm gonna go first because I loved it way more than you did.
Well, I can already tell what you're gonna give it.
I'm going to go halvesies here. I've never done a half score, but I'm gonna give Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, 9.5 Death Stars out of 10.
And I'll give it 8 out of 10. That's
Psychic octopuses.
Damn it, Jonathan.
Alright guys, well this was our spoiler review for Rogue One. Please let us know what you thought about it. Feel free to use as many spoilers as you want down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like button if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. May the Force be with you.